What's up? It's Coach Colin Castell with Shot Mechanics, and welcome to another episode of the Ask Coach C Show. So this week we're going to talk about how to get more rotation on your shot. We're going to talk about how to figure out if you're missing side to side and how you can fix that. And we're going to talk about getting extra lift on your jumper. All right, so the first question this week comes from Kimberly Martinez, and they want to know, my question is when I shoot, I can't really get any rotation on the ball. I follow through and everything, but I just can't get any rotation. Do you know why? All right, great question. It's one that I get all the time. Now, shooting's a lot like problem solving, right? There's different ways that you can go about it. So there's a few different things that you can do to try to get more rotation on the ball. Number one, you can lock your wrist early. So when you're getting ready to shoot, as you bring it up, the sooner you lock your wrist, generally the better snap you get on your wrist, and the better rotation that's gonna get on the ball. So think about locking your wrist as soon as you catch the ball and you're getting ready to go up into your shot. That way, it stays locked, gets you a better snap from the wrist, better rotation on the basketball. From there, you can start thinking about different things. You can think about getting a little bit of a palm gap. So as you bring the ball up, if you can have just a slight gap in your palm down here, that'll give you just a little bit more touch on your finger pads. So when you snap, everything kind of comes off the basketball and makes it get that nice rotation. Remember, rotation is important because it slows the velocity of the basketball, giving you that better touch when it does hit the rim. So it's something that generally the best shooters have, and it's something that you probably want to work on. The last thing you can think about is finding the seams. The best shooters on the planet, when they catch the ball, a lot of times they'll rotate their fingers around to find the seams with their dominant finger. So since I'm a middle finger shooter, I always try to find the seam with my middle finger. That way when it's coming off of my hand, I can snap that seam back, get that great rotation. It's almost like an NFL quarterback. When they're throwing the football, right, they find the laces on the top, and those are the last things that come off of their fingers, so they get that snap, get that tight video game spiral. So those are a few different ways that you can get more rotation. You can kind of play with it. You know, some people do all three, some people just do one. It kind of just depends on the person, you know, what you got to do to get that optimal rotation for you in your shot. But those are three ways to do it. Hey, this question is brought to you by the guys over at the Up My Game app. Now, it's a super cool app where you can upload a video of you shooting, and coaches can come on and they can critique and tell you what you need to fix. I'm on there all the time. I do 3 free analyses a week that I randomly select for people like you guys that upload your videos. And I also pick one person each week to give a free $25 Foot Locker gift certificate to. So to be eligible for either of those, all you got to do is download Up My Game in the iOS App Store and then upload a video of you shooting to be eligible. Again, super cool app. I would probably try to upload a new video at least once a week. That way you can constantly kind of see how your mechanics are changing, and it's a great way for you to kind of self-coach as well, because you can slow the footage down, you can speed it up, you can scrub back and forth. It's really, really cool. I use it a lot with my athletes, even that I work with in person. So go check out the guys at the Up My Game app. All right, so the next question comes from Mladen Milosavljevic. I've totally messed that up, I'm sorry. But they want to know, how can I know when I'm missing to the side if my release is bad or I'm not aligned, my shoulder, my elbow, my hip to the basket? Please help. All right, so this is a great question. Fixing misses side to side. So remember, there's 4 different directions you can miss a shot. You can miss long, you can miss short, you can miss left, you can miss right. If you can eliminate the left and right misses, already you've increased your shooting percentage right away. The number one thing that I always recommend is watching yourself on film. Pictures work okay, but generally if you watch yourself on film, you can find these mistakes a lot easier, because it's really hard to tell what your mechanics are doing when you're just shooting and not watching it from like another person's angle. This is the reason why I really love something like the Up My Game app that's been a sponsor of the last few episodes here, just because it's a great way to get your shot on camera. And then you can go in and you can slow it down, speed it up, go back and forth, and really kind of try to find those mechanics. So a little tip for you here. When you're getting ready to film yourself, make sure that the camera's behind you. You have an angle where the camera's behind you and you're shooting towards the basket. That's a great way to see what sort of things might be out of alignment. You know, sometimes it might be wrist flexion, where your wrist is flexing off to one side or the other. You might be able to see that your elbow's sticking out from the back a lot better. You might be able to see that when you follow through, maybe your arm's coming across your body, so your biceps and your chin, or maybe it's going out away from your body. So I would definitely get on something like the Up My Game app, upload a video on there, and then check it out and see if you can visually see from the back any sort of mechanics that are taking it out of alignment from the basket. That's probably the easiest way to figure it out, and something that I do all the time myself, even just to kind of check my own mechanics. So I definitely do something like that to figure out what you're doing that's causing those left and right misses. All right, so the next question comes from Connor Vreeken, and he wants to know, I don't tend to elevate much on my jumper. When I try to get extra lift, my shot is way too strong. I was wondering if there's any way I could get extra elevation while still keeping my accuracy. Thanks. Nice. So a lot of people are concerned with their lift. For some reason, there's this kind of notion that you have to jump really, really high on your jump shot. And that's just not absolutely true, or, that's not true at all. A lot of the best shooters don't jump very high. If you look at guys like Stephen Curry or James Harden, those guys don't jump very high when they shoot. And it's not about how high you jump necessarily, it's about how you transfer the momentum of energy through your jump, through your body, and into the basketball. I think that's why a guy like Russell Westbrook struggles a little bit sometimes with his shooting, is because he jumps so high that it kind of loses that momentum at the top, and he's kind of struggling to get his shot off at the last second. So there's a couple things that can help to get you not necessarily a better lift, but more optimized lift. Again, it doesn't matter if you're only jumping 4 inches off of the ground. As long as you're transferring that momentum, it doesn't really matter. So number one, try shooting off of a 2-footed hop. Think about slapping the ground with the balls of your feet, keeping your heels off of the ground. If you can do that, it allows like a natural spring where your heels can go down a little bit and then pop back up. So generally that's gonna give you a little bit extra pop or a little bit extra lift just right out of the gate. The second thing you can do, make sure you're on the balls of your feet, heels up, just like I said. Also, you can add a little ball dip, so you can dip the ball down by your belt line. That way it gets a little momentum. I like to think of it like a golf swing, right? If you're trying to hit a golf ball, you just hold your golf club up like this, and you try to hit the ball. It's really, really hard to get it in that straight line. And it's really hard to get that momentum. Think about if you just hold your golf club up and try to hit the ball, you're probably not gonna hit it as far as if you get that smooth backswing first and then come back through. So it's the same thing with trying to add a little bit of extra lift and a little bit of extra range. You can dip that ball down by your belt line and then come back up. It's gonna help transfer that momentum down, up, through your body and give you that little bit of extra lift. Again, remember, you don't need a ton of lift. It's really just how you use it. All right, great questions this week. Don't forget, if you want your question answered next week, leave it in the question in the comments section down below and hashtag AskCoachC. I love the questions you guys have been asking. They've been great, and I think we're learning a lot through these episodes. Also, don't forget, if you want my top 3 favorite shooting secrets for free, just click the button up here, right in there, and you can get those for free. And a lot of people are already kind of improving their shooting stroke the very first time they use them. It's already been downloaded by thousands of people, and they're already seeing great results. So go check those out. Again, I'm Coach Colin Castell with Shot Mechanics. Thanks for watching. Splash on.